Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Unity of Gaithersburg. I'm Reverend Edith Washington Wood. So grateful to see y'all out here. And I already know there are some of you out there in Love Streaming Land, you know, in the balcony. I've already greeted you on Facebook and our YouTube channel. And if anybody wants to play like that and play with your phone a little bit, I know Bill already has. So you could get on your phone and say good morning, because we're all one big family, right? Our virtual family as well as our in-person family. And so with that, again, welcome to all who are here. I'm wondering, is there anyone who is new or hasn't been with us for a while, either here in the sanctuary or online? If you are, hi, I know you. Hello. She's taken a lot of our SEE classes. Yes, 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 yes. It's Carol Najeri's really, really good friend. Where are you from? Connecticut. She's visiting us from Connecticut. Want to tell people your name?
My name's Louise.
Louise from Connecticut.
I've known each other for 55 years.
55-year-old friend. Yes, yes. Wonderful. So glad you're here in person. Yes, good to see you. Yes. Had to, yes. Carol's daughter got married on Saturday. So it was a wonderful, beautiful wedding. And yeah, I know, now she's married. And anybody out there in Love Streaming Land, if you're brand new, just let us know, because we won't know if you don't put it in the chat and say, hey, I'm new. Yeah, so anyway, with that, why don't we open with just a little bit of prayer, kind of get us grounded, bringing us into the space, all right? Let us pray. In this moment, the space that we're creating, we join together our hearts and our minds as we bring our attention to this space here and now. In this moment, we can be full of gratitude. And in this moment, we can feel peace. And from this awareness, this is the space we are praying into and from. God, infinite presence, that which is everywhere, vast, everything and everyone. We give thanks for this moment where we get to share moment by moment, minute by minute, where we get to embrace each other, lift each other up, where we are able to receive that which is ours to receive. In this moment, may we acknowledge that presence of pure spirit that flows, gently flows, through the twists and turns of our lives. And for this, we're so very, very grateful. And so it is. Amen and amen. And now we have our vision statement. We're going to just keep doing it for the rest of the year. Why not? Then maybe we'll do the mission statement for a year. You know, that way you get to really remember it, maybe. Maybe we know it by now. All right, let's say it together. Being love, joy, and harmony, we expand the consciousness of oneness. Yes. What does that mean? Anybody know? Huh? What does it mean? We're all connected. That we're all connected. So when we're expanding this consciousness, right? And consciousness means awareness. That when we're expanding that, we expand it really past what our finite mind sees. What our eyes, you know, these two things right here, or, well, 4 or 6, depending on who it is. That is seeing beyond that. That is seeing beyond in a way that calls forth good, that calls forth possibility, not only in others, but first and foremost in ourselves. That is what expanding the consciousness of oneness is. And so we are living into that, each of us, right? And that's what we're called to do, and called to see that for the entire world. Yes. So that's what our vision statement means. And now, it's time for our opening song. I'm sure some of us who want to just shake a little bit, will probably be able to do that, right? Right, Deletta?
Yes.
Just a little bit? Okay. I Align with the Divine by Lois
Henriksen.
Oh, my goodness.
Also-
Henriksen. Got
Also known as Lightingale. All right, here we go. You have probably heard us do this before, so feel free to join in, and if you haven't, you'll catch it really quickly. I align with the divine. 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 I align. I'm in the flow. I'm alive. I'm in the flow. I align. I'm in the flow. I align with the divine. I align with my truth. I align with my truth. I align with my truth. I align with the divine. I align. I feel the joy. I align. I feel the joy. I align with the divine. I align with the divine. Right me. I align with you and me. I align with you and me. I align with you and me. I align with the divine. I align. Together we shine. I align. Together we shine. I align. Together we shine. I align with the divine. I align with my light. I align with my light. I align with my light. I align with the divine. Last time I align with the divine. I align with the divine. I align with the divine. I align with the divine.
A licensed Unity teacher here at Unity of Gaithersburg, and I am delighted to bring your transformational opportunities this morning. So first of all, we have our annual meeting next Sunday, and Reverend Edith wanted to say something.
Yes, so we have our annual meeting on next Sunday, the 20th. The information went out on the 10th, because we do that 10 days before the meeting, to all voting members. If you didn't get it like I didn't, look in your spam, because that's where it's hiding. I was like, I didn't get it, what happened? And Keith said, why don't you look in your spam? I don't know why it went to spam, but believe me, that's where it's at if you didn't see it on Thursday. I also want to really thank, love, and appreciate all of your cards, your text messages, your email, the Facebook post about my mom passing away on the 30th. It has been so fulfilling, heart-opening, showing our connection with each other. But I want to especially thank the Board of Trustees, because we had a board meeting that evening. We had put it off because whatever. We put it off to the 30th, and it was less than 2 hours after my mom passed. And I talked to Cynthia, and she's our board president, and she said, you're not coming, are you? I didn't go. I didn't need to go, right? And I was able to just be with my mom for as many hours as I needed to be. And it was a beautiful experience. I'm still in the grief process. I know, you can't tell, right? Yeah. On Tuesday, I picked up her death certificate, and that's when I lost it. I was like, could barely make it to my car. Just that boo-hoo, snot running down your nose cry, right? And I called her close one, and she was like, "What's going on?" Because I couldn't talk. So I really did it. I really went there. And then I talked to my BFF a long time, decades. And I did the same thing driving down the street. So I'm still in it. And my mother's memorial is on Saturday. And anyone that wants to donate flowers in lieu of flowers, please send something to the Casey House Hospice or here to the church. That would really warm my heart because they warmed our hearts. So that's my, oh, right, okay. So I'm going to get off that hat and then go back to the board. So we have 3 candidates for the board. We have Sarah Collins, Bill Sunderman, and Autumn Williams, who will be running for the board. So what that means is the 3 spaces we have open, we'll have 3 filled, but we still vote because there'll be 2 3-year terms to vote on and 1 1-year term. So you're not getting out of a vote, folks. But they're all in. It's just where are they situated in the what we have openings for. So that's what I have, and I'll turn it back over to Carol.
All right, I just want,
Just add that the bios of the candidates are on the bulletin board.
okay, did everybody hear that? The bios of the candidates are on the bulletin board? And I think they went out in the email too,
Yes.
right? Yes. So that's why you want to find the email. All right, so spirit groups started this past week. However, you can still join. And Kevin and I will be available out in the lobby afterwards if you have any questions about our spirit groups. They're great. Hey, the Memory Stone ceremony is going to be on November 10th. And today is the last day to order a stone so that it arrives in time to be part of that ceremony. And if you have any other questions about what's going on, check out the little half sheet. Our foundation is prayer. And I am your prayer chaplain today. And if you would like to have confidential prayer after the service, I will be available back in that corner. If you would like to be put on our prayer list, there's a box in the back that you can write your name or the name of anyone else you would like to be held in prayer. And our prayer team will pray over them every day. So here's the daily word for today, Sunday, October 13th. The word for today is belong. And on this day, let us affirm, as spiritual beings, we all belong in the heart of God. As spiritual beings, we all belong in the heart of God. I invite you to hear these words as your own. A true sense of belonging is one of the best feelings in the world. It's knowing I am at home, fully accepted just as I am, and valued for my unique contributions. Today, I celebrate my belonging as a divine being, a child of God. No matter my station in life, my personal history, or my particular circumstances, I am a valued member of the human family. I extend this understanding to all others. I look beyond appearances and even my own preconceived notions to see my fellow divine beings. I honor their unique gifts, just as I would want them to honor mine. We belong together. We belong to one another. We all belong in the family of God. Today's Bible verse is from the book of John, chapter 17, verse 20 to 21. I ask not only on behalf of these, but also on behalf of those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one. Let's take a moment to reflect on our word for the day, belong.
And now it is time for our meditative part of this service. I invite you to join me in closing your eyes. And if you would rather keep them open, just have them at a half gaze, focusing on one spot in the room. For we affirm there is no spot where God is not. The Spirit of the living God is here, now, and forevermore. Now, I invite you to consider that you're walking down a street, and that the street has many twists and turns. And you are called to make decisions as to which way to go. And sometimes as you walk along, there are hills and there are valleys. There are sharp turns and long turns. And you begin to wonder, did you go the right way? And as you continue to walk, at the end you come upon a few benches, and there is sunlight shining down on the benches. And you're called to go and sit. And as you sit, you contemplate all what has been before you and behind you. The days, the weeks, the years that it took to get to where you are now. And yet, in that moment, you find a sense of peace and tranquility, perhaps that you didn't have before. Perhaps because you got to the center. And perhaps this is the center of your being. And in the center, you rest. Just as we will. And you say to yourself, I am at peace. I am at peace. In the center, where you're grounded and rooted in the sunlight of the Spirit, you say to yourself, I am at peace. Right here, we join our hearts and minds together and go into this place of peace and tranquility. In the silence, we know Spirit is alive. I am at peace. I am at peace. I am. these words be yours. I am at peace. And if there is anyone, including yourself, that may need a little peace, a little tranquility, a little ease, I invite you to speak their name out loud or silently to yourself. My mom, Arla. My family. The United States of America. All who are at war. And in this space that we've created, this sacred, solemn, peaceful space, we know what it feels like to have peace. And we see that for everyone, everywhere, in all beings. And as we gently bring ourselves back to this space and time, may we recall, whenever we need to, what peace feels like in our body. That peace is always available and accessible to us. And for this, we are so very grateful. And so it is. Amen.
Life is like a labyrinth, spiraled on the ground, circling to catch new lessons each time around. It's a circle, ever widening circle. It's a spiral, expanding compassion in a spiral. Call it love, call it love, call it love, just call it love. Life is like a labyrinth, spiraled on the ground, catching, circling, catching beauty all around. It's a circle, ever widening circle, and a spiral, expanding compassion in a spiral. Call it love, just call it love. The universe is unfathomable love. circling to catch new laughter each time around. It's a circle, ever widening circle. It's a spiral, expanding compassion in the spiral. Call it love, call it love. The universe is unfathomable love. Life is like a labyrinth, spiraled on the ground, circling to catch new wisdom each time around. It's a circle, ever widening circle, and it's a spiral, expanding compassion in the spiral. Call it love, just call it love. The universe is unfathomable love. Just call it love, just call it love.
Beautiful. I am so moved by what you just did. Oh. Just give. How moving was that, right? Thank you. I need to blow my nose. Turn me off for a sec. I just kept thinking about my mom and, you know, the circle of life and, you know, the whole spiral. And I've listened to the song as I do, and there's something about you and Rodney and the team, and just, right? Like it just snuck into my heart. It did that. This was not intentional, okay? Anybody ever walked the Labyrinth? What was it like? What was it? Out of the world experience. Okay. Anybody else? Surrender, contemplative, meditative. Where? Where did you do it at? Here? Yes, the one we have. We have a Labyrinth. For those who don't know, typically, are we doing it in December?
Or
New Year's Eve, or
New Year's Eve or
the winter solstice. Winter solstice. We remove all the chairs and people can come, and it's beautiful. There's also a new one at Unity Village. Here's what it looks like, an aerial of it. And it when building a labyrinth, it takes a long time. A long time. And this labyrinth was done brick by brick by brick. And it took 11 months, from 2021 to 2022. And it's just an amazing experience. I had a video, I thought I was going to be able to embed it, but I think Unity World Headquarters has it copywritten or something, so I couldn't grab it. But if you go online and look up Unity Village Labyrinth, then you can see a less than 1 minute time time lapse, or a longer one that's 4 or 5 minutes, but it's just beautiful to see how it goes along. I looked up the definition of labyrinth in the dictionary, and it said that it is a complicated, irregular network of passages or paths in which it is difficult to find one's way, kind of like a maze. It says it's a labyrinth of passages and secret chambers. Yeah. Now, the one at Unity Village actually has some secret chambers underneath. They had little medallions like this. I was there, actually, when they were getting to that point. And so the center of the labyrinth has things like a time capsule underneath. And we were able to mold little figurines and, Buddhas and whatever, and put them under there. And so that was really special. So when I give you the definition of a labyrinth, what stood out? Do you remember what stood out in that definition? Irregular. Difficult to find your way. Mm-hmm. To keep going. Mm-hmm. That there are paths. Yes? And it can be complicated. And our lives can be like that too, right? Like in this life we have, there can be difficult paths that we travel. There can be all kinds of twists and turns. And this happened to a lady named Avria. She went to a labyrinth called the Labyrinth of Life. And it had shimmering mirrors reflecting her thoughts, or, well, people's thoughts and desires for anyone who entered. And here's a visual. I was able to get AI to make this visual. I know, AI. You're afraid of it, huh? I'm not. And so imagine a labyrinth like that. I couldn't get it flat because, I don't know, it took a lot to get to that. But just imagining a labyrinth that is like a mirror, and you're walking through this mirror. And so Avria did that, and she had a heart full of curiosity. She was super curious. How many in here are curious people? Oh, look at y'all. Yes. Like we want to be the seekers of the unknown, and yet it can be challenging to go toward the unknown. So Avria, she stepped into that labyrinth, and as she walked, the mirrors began to shift, and they began to show scenes of her past, her present, and her possible future. Would you want to see a possible picture of your future? Excuse me. I don't think I would like to do that. I don't want to know what's ahead. Now, some people might. And in one of the mirrors, excuse me, in one mirror, she saw herself as a little child, having fun, running around, making, mud patties. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking about that for myself. Making little patties out of mud. Nobody did that? Some people, yes. I see some heads nodding, yeah. And another one where she was older, where she was very wise, and people would come to her and ask her questions. And this path had its twists and turns that led to moments of great joy and moments of sorrow, moments of success, and moments of failure. Each reflection taught her something new about herself and about the world that is around her. At times, the path was clear and easy to follow, and at times there were like many obstacles and dead ends. Yeah, so maybe not in a labyrinth that like we walk, but the labyrinth of life can have dead ends where we get stopped in our tracks, where we don't want to move any further, that we go, oh no, I can't do that. And she noticed as she was walking along this labyrinth, Avria saw others also walking their own journey. She'd offered guidance, while others needed a little assistance. And together they were able to navigate that labyrinth, learning that the journey was not just about reaching the end, but about the experiences and connections they made along the way. It's kind of like that for us, right? That it's not about the end, right? Like my mother's physical life has ended. It is done. But the stories I've been looking at as I look at pictures and things like that, as I'm gathering things for her memorial, and the stories that I'm hearing from people who have known my mother for a long time, that it's really the richness of that, yes? The richness of the experiences we have as we go on the labyrinth of life. And as Avria went deeper, she realized that that labyrinth was truly, truly, truly a reflection of herself. And she was able to gain some clarity about her purpose. That the mirror showed her that every choice, every step was a part of her own unique story. That perhaps this is an example of our own lives, that every step we make, every step we take is part of our own unique, individualized journey, our individualized expression of the divine. Like, there's this term I've heard for a long time, that we are how God gets around. I know God people who think, oh my God, that's blasphemous. But just imagine if you just for a second could think, that if God could direct, that perhaps God would direct like a whole bunch of different experiences instead of just one, right? I've talked about it before. Like, we don't want to clone ourselves, right? And we don't want to clone other people, because if we do, how much fun would that be? It'd be kind of boring. We fall asleep. We think, oh, no. Can we have a do-over? But if you think about the popcorn of us, that we each have these beautiful, unique expressions that are solely ours to do and to be, right? That we have these twists and turns that happen because if we are how God gets around, why not have them, right? Why not lean into it as opposed to being afraid of it, right? Like, I'm sitting over there having this experience with them. They don't even know it. I'm having this experience over here, and I'm feeling the tears. I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. Can I take them, turn them off? Turn them, time out. Minister on duty, don't show. But you guys know me better than that, right? So I'm not going to sit here and hide behind this beautiful looking thing today. Hey, look, I was called ugly back in the day, so, if I think, you think, I'm just going to claim it. But it's because we all have this same beauty inside of us. That the crap we were told when we were kids is not the truth. Do you understand? It's not the truth of who we are. We, as individualized expressions of God has this beauty about us. From the moment we're born and they say, look, that beautiful baby, no matter what their head looks like, to the moment we cross over. As I saw my mother shining for 2 days straight. No, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I was like, what happened on that Saturday? Something's different. And I looked at her face and it was just shining, right? She was doing her thing, getting that one with the one that she had never known before. I'm certain that is the beauty of who we are. And we better know it. And if we don't know it, we need to just kind of like sink into it, right? Like we synced into that song. Like we synced into how that beautiful exchange that was happening in the moment for them to experience and for us to experience with all of you. And I like, whoa, right? You get it? You get it, Rodney? Yes. See, you didn't know you thought you would come here to like do a gig, right? Dude, I guess you're knowing that you're in for an experience that we get to have with you. Yes? Different than other experiences in other churches. Okay, all right, whatever. In a good way? See that? That's why we come here, because we have an experience in a good way. We have an experience in a way that we're able to open up to the presence of everything and anything and all things now. Right now. And as Avria was getting to the center of that labyrinth, that she found a garden. A place of peace and tranquility, where she was able to gain an understanding of who she really is. And let go any of the blockages, yes? The things that hold us back from our greatness. She sat down and she reflected on her journey and was grateful for the lessons she learned and the strength that she had gained. And she saw people along the way. Different colors, cultures, experiences, and that sunlight of the Spirit was real. The sunlight of the Spirit was real. That each of us can experience it, moment by moment, day by day. Avria found a new sense of herself, and as she exited the labyrinth, she was ready to face the world with courage and wisdom. That courage and wisdom that she had not had before. She knew again that her life is like a labyrinth. That there are these twists and turns. And that in all of the twists and turns, each of them are an opportunity for us to grow. Not just grow alone. She found out that it was also to grow with others. Like we get to do this together, right? Like why do we come here on Sundays? Or those out there who are watching it, not at this moment, but you watch it later. Why do we do that? Because we're looking for something. We're looking for some nugget, something that's going to assist us in our own life's journey. And on this journey, Avria was able to embrace life with an open heart. And that the true treasure lay not in the destination, I'll say again, but in the adventure itself. Now, in honor of Indigenous Peoples Day tomorrow, I have a quote from Auntie Allie Golding, an Aboriginal leader, or Aboriginal elder rather, from the Baripi Nation. She stated, "The labyrinth invites and welcomes people to walk the path together. It calls them to land in oneness." So we are being called to land in our oneness, to understand that we have a shared reality, even though we have our own different individual paths. that each of us are called to look at it a little differently than what our finite eyes can see. To open our hearts in a way that we may not have been comfortable or willing to do. I get it, right? We're at this time, it's 23 days or something until that election. And there are varying views of what it should look like. But what about if this is part of the labyrinth of life? What if it's part of, for us anyway, to look at it and see it differently than maybe we would have seen it before? To open our hearts to those who we may have, we may see things differently, yeah? That there may be definitely lines in the sand that are crossed, and there's one side and the other side, and which one do you want to be with, whatever. But where is it where we look at how can we see the good everywhere, with everyone? Even if it may be a little challenging, right? Like even if it's difficult to see. How do we see it rightly? How do we see it with the eyes of love in our own heart? That's what a challenge is, yeah? It could be a challenge, right? You think? And yet, we find that center, that peace and tranquility in our own space, in our own body, when we look a little deeper. Our Bible verse from today comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7, and it's just a little snippet of it. For we walk by faith, not by sight. Walking by faith is like walking in the labyrinth. Mm-hmm. Can't see it, especially if it has those walls like I showed in the images. It is how we are navigating our own lives. Walking by faith, not by sight. Like, I don't know how I walked these last few weeks. I have no clue. Like, I made some missteps. Lord knows. It's like, did I approve that? When did that happen? I don't remember. Did I talk to you about that? I don't remember. And I can say that, right? Because y'all don't have me on a pedestal. In order to walk by faith and not by sight, we must be willing to walk. We must be willing to take action. And this brings us to our spiritual power for the month, which is zeal. And it is the ability to just start, right? So standing at that labyrinth of life, earrings are doing a thing, and starting. And the disciple is Simon the Canaanite, who represents the motivation and desire to accomplish things. And the color is what? Orange. You better know it. Mm-hmm. And the location is the back of the head. Yeah. I'm chuckling because I remember my mother said, do I have to slap you on up the back of you? You know what I'm talking about, right, Carol? Yeah, the back, yeah. And was that really true, or were they just trying to slap some zeal in you or something? Wake up, kid. Walk the sterile life. Walk it. Walk. Not really physically slap you, but like, get a grip. Thanks, Mama. Avery demonstrated the willingness to walk that labyrinth of the unknown, and we're being called to do that. We're being called to know that that labyrinth is complicated. It's irregular. It is a network. It is a path. And it's difficult sometimes to find our way. And yet, we can. We can find our way. It is a circle, as that song said. It is the circle of life. It is the circle that is spiral and never ending. You see, my mother, though her physical body is completed, I know she's alive, right? And I'm happy about that she's no longer in that Alzheimer's dementia bubble where she didn't know who I was. I'm glad that's done now. And yet grief still happens. That's that the yin and yang stuff. To walk the labyrinth of life means we must be willing. To walk the labyrinth of life means we must stand right there at the door. To walk the labyrinth of life means that we're doing it with each other. To walk the labyrinth of life means that we are teachable. Some people ain't teachable, just saying. To walk the labyrinth of life means we see possibilities. To walk the labyrinth of life means that everything is possible. To walk the labyrinth of life, it means that we must open. That we must open our hearts. To walk the labyrinth of life, we must be willing to travel to the center. To walk the labyrinth of life, we must be willing to find and see and feel peace. And our affirmation for today can assist us with getting there. I'll read it once and invite you to say it with me. I am moving through the twists and turns in my life with ease and peace. Together? I am moving through the twists and turns in my life with ease and peace. Just take that in for a moment. To know that we can move through our life with ease and peace, regardless to outer circumstances, regardless to somebody's election, regardless to anything, that we can be centered in ourselves. And let's say this affirmation again, like our heart depends on it and the hearts of others. Together? I am moving through the twists and turns in my life with ease and peace. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen and namaste.
Sometimes your life feels like a broken roller coaster, 1,000 useless moving parts. Sometimes you spend your nights too scared of getting closer, hiding out in the backseat of your car. You tell yourself it's raining, the clouds are in your head. You tell yourself it's better to jump before you fall again, before you lose it all again. Look up, do you see the sunlight? Look up, there's flowers in your hair. Hold on, 'cause somebody loves you. You know trouble's always gonna be there. Don't let it bring you to your knees. Look up. Mondays aren't always bright. Some days you lose the fight. But life can be beautiful if you let it be. Tomorrow keeps taunting you with all kinds of mystery. It's a blank page for your poetry if you let it be. So don't tell yourself it's raining. The clouds are in your head. You tell yourself it's better to jump before you fall again, before you lose it all again. Look up, do you see the sunlight? Look up, there's flowers in your hair. Hold on, 'cause somebody loves you. You know trouble's always gonna be there. Don't let it bring you to your knees. Look up. Look up. Hold on. Look up. Sometimes your life feels like a broken roller coaster, 1,000 useless moving parts. Look up, do you see the sunlight? Look up, there's flowers in your hair. Hold on, 'cause somebody loves you. You know trouble's always gonna be there. Don't let it bring you to your knees. Look up. Trouble's always gonna be there. Look up. Don't let it bring you to your knees. Look up. Oh, 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 look up.
Thank you. Right, so I'm here to talk about giving and generosity. And what I wanted to do is invite you to say to yourself, I am open to the good in my life. I am open to the good in my life. And as you do that, you should feel more prosperous, more abundance, more love, more joy. And so, we invite you from that space to give back to this beloved community. And we have lots of ways to do it. You can do it online, you can do it via text, you can do it via the box, you can do it via the envelope on the back of the chair. And let us do our love offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am so grateful.
Today, we talked about our daily word is belong, as you know. And so we had a nice discussion about what do we belong to? How do we know we belong? We did a couple exercises in belonging. One where we had to find a bunch of really different things. And we had to figure out how do they belong together. And so we thought about when something's different, how do we figure out how it belongs? And then we read a story called The Suitcase, which I highly recommend. It's a really heartwarming, simple story about refugees and how a group figures out belonging. And then we played a couple belonging games, and we did some other fun stuff. And I'm turning you over to Okoswa.
Good morning. Good morning. So, they've got the world in their hands. Now, some of them bounce the world off the walls and off the ceilings and all of that, which is kind of what our world is doing right now, isn't it? Bouncing off the walls and the ceilings and all of that. So it's somewhat appropriate. But yes, so they've got the world in their hands. And this is their reminder when they start getting a little stressed out that they've got the world in their hands. Hold on, Andrew. And then, who brought their little lights? Where's your lights? You have your little light thing? Do you have yours? Okay. So, they all had a little, I forget what you call these, thingy. And in there, they've got 2 lights. One is the light, because they wrote a word on their little bags on how they bring light in the world. Because remember, they talk about they're the light of the world. So Miss Edie brought this exercise to them. So one light is them, and the other light that's in here is the light that they bring into the world. So, and they're supposed to hold these, and when they're feeling a little stressed, they might just kind of rub them, remind them about how they're the light of the world. And the last thing is, Jaden, what's the color this month? Go ahead. What's the color?
Orange.
And what's the power? Anybody remember? We did a lot of running around today, so what does that mean? Zeal. Zeal, zeal. Lots of that. And then the last reminder is that the last Sunday of the month, the young people have been invited to wear their costumes if they wish, because we're going to have a little small Halloween party over there. Well, the littles will, because 5 of them are going actually to the YOU rally at Unity of Fairfax. So we're taking 5. I want you to clap for that, because we are really growing with leaps and bounds. So we're able to take 5 young people for the YOU rally. So that, and the last thing is that just a reminder that tomorrow is Indigenous Peoples Day. And so every one of us in here is more than likely evolved from an indigenous culture. So remember who and what you are and how you belong. Thank you. Okay, Jaden.
I am the light of the world. I live as the light.
You are the light of the world. You live as the light.
We.
Great. And now, if you'll stand for our closing songs.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
my friends, I encourage you and invite you to walk through the twists and turns of life with ease and find peace. Find your center. Have a wonderful week. Bye for now.
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, something without warning, love, bears heavy on my mind. And then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Oh, just one look at you, and the world is gonna be a lovely day. A lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face, someone else instead of me always seems to know the way.